Hello everyone, welcome to Glorious IAS Academy. I hope you are doing well. So in the previous classes we have discussed about stone ages, metallic ages and Indus Valley civilization. Today we have come up with early Vedic age. So in Indian history, before we began with the Indus Valley civilization, everyone used to believe that it started with the early Vedic age until the discovery of Indus Valley civilization. So after early Vedic age was a prominent age where the present literature, even today, early morning in most of the homes we listen to Gayatri Mantra, Saraswati Mantra. All these things actually have the roots in early Vedic age. So what is that age? How was the life in early Vedic age and how the people have lived in that time? We will discover now. So the time period of this early Vedic age is 1500 to 1000 BC, and during this time there are so many significant events that occurred. So we are going to discuss one by one. So first and foremost things is like Vedic literature. So if you look at the Vedic literature, how do we divide the Vedic literature? For anything, whenever you are reading any material, the most important thing is the source. So for Vedas, the source is Vedic literature. In this Vedic literature, it is again categorized into three ways. So what are those three ways? One is Vedas, first one. I think everyone knows about Vedas. There are four Vedas: Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajur Veda, Atharva Veda. We will discuss about all of them when in which period they have come up. So in early Vedic age, we have only Rig Veda, and the remaining Vedas we will not discuss. And Vedangas. In order to study Vedas, we need the supporting documents like grammar, Vyakarna, or phonetics. All these things are mentioned here. And Upavedas. In order to understand the Vedas, Vedic philosophy, Upavedas help. So it majorly deals with the philosophical part. So we will discuss about that also. So here the Vedic literature contains three major areas, that is Vedas, Upavedas and Vedangas. But how this discovery has occurred? The major contribution has come from, of course, our ancestors, but in the modern times it is started with Sir William Jones. He is actually a judge during 1784 when he came to India. He was in the Supreme Court of Calcutta. So there he was acting as a judge. In the remaining leisure time, he has the interest to read about Indian areas and Indian Indology. So we call it Oriental Studies. Now, Oriental means you divide the world into two hemispheres. One is the Eastern Hemisphere and Western Hemisphere. So the part of Eastern Hemisphere and studies about them is Oriental. In that Oriental, China, Japan, of course India. So India's related study is called Indology. So India's related study is called Indology. So Sir William Jones was called as father of Indology. So he was interested to know about India, how it was lived. So they were digging at the history of our past. So in order to find out our past, he started a new society that is called Asiatic Society of Bengal. So in this Asiatic Society of Bengal, they used to research. It is like a group of people along with Sir William Jones, like N.B. Elhead. What they have done is they all formed as a group and they started writing their views or whatever the new things they have learned, and these are kept in a journal form. So they started making a journal. With this, they are exchanging the knowledge. See, this is how British have successfully, conquered the India, because what they have done is they used to exchange the knowledge among themselves. So this is giving a very good idea who we are, who Indians are, and how they are administered. Take example of British used cricket as a means to control the Indian population. How? Because India is always a peace-loving country. Take example of Ramayana and Mahabharata. So Ashwamedha Yaga is a very famous one. Ashwamedha Yaga, the purpose of Yaga is like to conquer a territory. But is it through violent means? No. A horse will be left and it goes to all the places where there is whatever the place it is going, that place belongs to emperor. So if it is obstructed or stopped, then the emperor will wage a war on the kingdom. So if they accept the authority and suzerainty, it means authority of the emperor, then there will be no war. So by this means they are getting the territorial conquest. So this is one way they used to wage a war, but without any bloodshed. This is what studied by British later and started implementing like soft powers or games like cricket, hockey by French. So most of the Indian literature has supported for peace. That's what we need to understand. And so here Sir William Jones has come up with some commonalities when he was studying the Indian literature. So what is that a commonality? Majorly the commonality is language. So what is that language commonalities? Have you ever wondered? We call our mother as a Mata, and they also call it as a mother, and Pita, father, brother, Brata. So if you observe one thing here, it is having such a commonalities: mama, papa, bra, bro. So here, due to these commonalities, they were looking at this like we have certain things at common. How our language is similar. It means we have some ancestral connection. So he wanted to build those ancestral connection. So that is where has established language groups. One is Senthum group. Here in the Senthum group, Sanskrit, Hindi and Bengali were placed. Whereas in Kenthum group, all the European languages like English, German and French. So with this, he started arguing that we have the common ancestry. So we have common language connection. See, for every person to hold to a society, they must have the language. See, we cannot mingle with the Chinese easily because we are not familiar with the language. So language familiarity is most important thing. So here Sir William Jones has tried to draw that language familiarity. With this, they started saying like we all have the common ancestry. So this is one point he started promoting. And after promoting this one, the remaining groups like a new theory has arisen, Aryans. So early Vedic life is completely filled with the Aryan people and their migration to India. So some people started saying, especially Swami Dayananda Saraswati in the modern Indian era, he started saying that Tibet is the home of Aryans. So Aryans have come from Tibet to Afghanistan, Himalayas. So from here they have come down to Afghanistan to then Pakistan area to they enter into like a Ganga Yamuna region. So this is what the argument of Swami Dayananda Saraswati. On contrary to this, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, who was educated under British institutions, by this time Max Muller argument was very popular. So he started saying Arctic Circle is the home of India, Aryans. So where is this Arctic Circle? The complete North Pole. So North Pole is the home of Aryans. That is was the proposal of Balagangadhar Tilak. But these two theories were not accepted because they don't have the substantial proof. And then Max Muller, he is a German. So he started translating all the Vedas into German, and after translating them, he set up one in a Berlin University. He set up one Sanskrit department and started studying them. So first time in the Europe, they started studying about the Indian literature. See, that is the beauty of our knowledge. Our knowledge has been studied even by the Europeans, and that is paved way for the modern life. But now we forget about our literature. We are taking the help from those institutions to rebuild our knowledge. So we lost somewhat great knowledge in this journey. So and Ramsay J. Mayer, he started translating it into English. The Vedas were translated by him, Ramsay J. Moser, and Professor J. Max Muller. He proposed that Aryan migration, or this is also called as Central Asian origin theory. This is also related with Central Asia, the present day Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan, bordering Russia, Ukraine areas. So from that area, the people has migrated. So from that area, people have first migrated to Indus area. Then from Indus area to they have migrated to the Ganga Valley. So this is what the argument of Max Muller. But this theory is supported by other evidences. So what are those other evidences? One evidence we have is, first, they have come from Central Asia to Mesopotamia. From Mesopotamia to they have moved to east, the present day Iran, and from Iran to they started moving Pakistan region. That is where Indus river valley located. From Indus Valley they have settled in, from 1500 to 1000 BC they have settled here. After settling, they crossed Aravalli region, and after crossing this Aravalli region, from 1000 BC to 500 BC roughly, they have settled or they migrated to Ganga Valley. So by this means, what you need to understand, did Aryans know Ganga in early Vedic time? No, they don't know. They don't have any idea about it. So mark this. And here during this time, another argument was Gales and Brandenstein. So Gales and Brandenstein proved that they have come from Hungary plains. So what are how they have proved? In Mesopotamia there is an inscription. So with the use of this inscription, it is mentioned the gods of Indra, Varuna, Agni. So all the similar gods are present in the Mesopotamian region. So as it is present there, and later the people have migrated to this area. This theory has been accepted, but in the contemporary times, it means now at present situation, this theory is under a lot of stress, because the neo-nationalists, the new nationalists are not supporting the above theories. So there is a chance that NCERT also one or other day NCERT will change this narrative, because all these theories majorly are given by Europeans, not by Indians. So now the Aryan migration theory coming up with a new thought. There is like a native Aryan theory. So Aryans are not foreigners, they are native. This is one of the theory that is gaining a lot of ground as of now. So as far as we concern, this theory can be rejected one or other point of time, but pay attention, because whenever this thing has been rejected, we need to change this entire narration, and you have to update it to the according to the government and other needs. So please pay attention to that whenever is required. So moving on to our next area, that is Vedic geography. So you know very well, our for anything you want to study, the most important thing is its geography. So without studying the geography, you cannot study component. You know, Indus is having multiple rivers. Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Yas, and Sutlej. So if you want, how do you remember easily? The only way you can make some shortcut. So I made it like IJCRBS. IJ, ABCDFGHIJ, okay, and a CR. Instead of going with B, C, R, S, they are all in one series. Just utilize that. So here, most of the times in examinations, the questions are asked in a way, they don't ask the modern terminology, they ask the old terminologies. So what are those old terminologies we have? In the old terminologies, Indus is called as Sindhu. So we already discussed Indus Valley Civilization or Sindhu Valley Civilization. So this is very easy one. So Sindhu is easy, and you frequently hear this. And there are state, Punjab state, Sindhu state we had earlier. So Sindhu is a very prominent, you will remember, and examiner won't ask the above. So what they would ask, remaining rivers are there, right? So what they were called as, so that is what you need to learn. So Ravi is called as Parushini. Ravi is called as Parushini, and Chenab is called Ashikini. So these are having two relative terms, so that's why I kept in one area. So how do you remember? CA, Chenab and Ashikini, Ravi and Parushini, RP. Next, if you look at the next ones, Bias and Jhelum is having Vipasa and Vitasa. So here, Bias and Vipasa, BP and JT, Jhelum and Vitasa. Just for remembering, see, the most important thing is how you are able to remember quickly, and you can utilize that memory power in your examination. Without doing that, how many times you read won't be useful. And the last things are like Sutlej, it is called Sutudri, and of course you know Saraswati. Saraswati river is one of the extinct river of India. Now there is a project Saraswati to find out what the location of Saraswati and the causes of its decline. It is called as Surashruti. So this is one of the uh, like all the Vedic geography that present. And what about Ganga, Yamuna? In early Vedic literature, especially Rigveda. In Rigveda is the only literature that we had in the early Vedic time. So in that, Ganga is only mentioned once and Yamuna is mentioned thrice. Beyond that, they don't have any idea. Why? One of the reason is Aravali range. So they didn't come across the Aravali range. They are beyond, away from that area. So this is one of the reason we can say that they don't have any idea about Ganga and Yamuna. This is in the later Vedic times. Ganga and Yamuna were flourished with the Aryans. So that is one of the understand. And the next. Next, there are some peaks. You know, whenever you are learning geography, the two things are very important: peaks and rivers. If you know them, most of the things like rivers. If you know the rivers, where are the rivers present? Cities also present in the same location. So it is very logical connection. So what they used to call the Himalayas? They used to call the Himalayas as a Mujavanta peaks. They used to call the Himalayas as a Mujavanta peaks, and the kingdom of Aryans was called as a Jana. So all the people, now you might be wondering, where did our national anthem, how did our national anthem start? Like everyone knows, Jana, Gana, Mana. So this Jana has come from here. That is why you need to history, because all the roots, whatever we are promoting now, all the roots are lie in the history. So Jana means a kingdom of Aryans, and ancient, now it comes with presently India. That is what we call, or recently the government has changed the name to Bharat. But if the examiner was interested to, or is interested to ask a question in this direction, then they may pose like, what is the ancient name of India? That is Jambudvipa. How one is saying Jambudvipa? So you know, when you are studying geography, you can there is like, India is a Indo-Australian plate. It is merged with Eurasian plate and formed into, like Himalayas were formed. Before that, India was a island. So this is a reason it is called as Jambudvipa. And during the early Vedic times, there is a war between Bharata tribes and others. So this is called the Dasaraja battle. After this defeat of Dasarajas, it is called as a Bharata Varsha. And during the Mauryans' time, Greeks used to refer India, our present place, as India. And interestingly, this India is picked up by modern times by British. And medieval times, when Muslim invaders come to India, they used to refer our geography as Hindustan. So these are the names. Now at present, we are changing it to again Bharat. See, if you are looking at these patterns, now we are having early Vedic times. So this is very simple if you are understanding the patterns. So during Greeks' time, they refer us as India, medieval times Hindustan, and now it is changing. So please pay attention to that. And Vedic culture. So Vedic culture is mostly associated with the set of gods. So you know, as of if you are looking at your homes at present, what we do? We generally lit the lamp and camphor. After lighting the camphor, what would happen? Camphor would go up. or a lamp would light and this smoke it going up. Then how it is related to Vedic culture? Vedic culture means not, it is a way of life of people, but this way of life have uh, certain meanings. They have associated with a different set of gods, language, way of life, eating habits. But before we go into that, they have created a three spheres. So what are those sphere? First one is a terrestrial sphere. So what is terrestrial sphere? It means earth. So in the earth, they started assigning one god. So who is the god of earth? Or is Agni. So whenever Agni is coming, in order to reach up, everyone's objective was reach Swarga. This is mentioned as a cosmic. So to cosmic sphere also one god is assigned. So who is the god of cosmic sphere? So that is why in most of literature we always see Indra is a god of the gods. This is Antariksha Varna or this is a celestial sphere. So in the celestial sphere, Varuna is assigned as a god. So each and every sphere have one set of god. So on Bhu-Avarna, terrestrial sphere is also called as Bhu-Avarna. The Bhu-Avarna is occupied by or given to Agni. So that is why whenever we have conducted rituals, homas, yagas, so what we do, we worship the fire. And after worshipping the fire, what would happen? The smoke would go up and it reaches the cosmic sphere. And in between we have the celestial sphere. And during this time, what they have done, except Pushkala Vrata clouds. So Pushkala Vrata clouds, Pushkala Vrata clouds, it means flash floods. You can compare it to the modern terms like flash floods. So these flash floods were under the control of Indra. And what about the remaining rains? All the clouds were under the control of Varuna. So this is how each sphere is given to one god, and Vedic culture has developed in this manner. And after developing this, the next one we have is Vedic administration. So one of the most important thing is to organize its people. So how to organize the people? For very simple thing, first and foremost thing people require is in general basic needs. So what are those basic needs? Food and shelter, of course clothing, and but here I can say protection. During the early Vedic ages, the entire areas are completely filled with the forest. So as they are forest filled, and there are so many people, what used to happen? Territorial conflict used to happen. So in order to avoid or the pressure for food, people are fighting for the food. So in order to avoid this, what must be done? They need the protection. But who will protect? Some people has to be dedicate their life only for the or specialize in the field of protection. So for this sake they need the some incentive. But how does this incentive come? it comes with certain like grants. So let us take that farmers are there, farmers are working in the field, and they will get the farmers are working, and while army is on the borders protecting. So what would happen? If anybody comes, they will be protected. Whereas farmer, what they would do? They produce, they will give a share. So this is how the tax revenue has come. And this tax revenue was very important, because during this time, for the sake of protection, they are coming up with the new patterns. So during those days, they had the cows. Who will protect these cows then? So some person who has to take care of these cows, they have to take it to the grasslands and make them eat. So this is one of the pattern. So this task is given to Rajan, and Rajan is elected by the Gana, or there are Sabha, Samiti. So in the Sabha and Samiti, Samiti is the majorly election body, like the present election year. Same Samiti is a place where all the elders come and select a person. So after selected by the Samiti, Rajan is placed. So Rajan is the, if I say you don't believe, but Rajan initially is a shepherd who will be, whose prime duty is to protect the cows. But when he is taking the cows to the grazing areas, what about his food and all? So somebody has to give him the share. So whatever they are getting, they used to share it to the Rajan. So this is how a part has come, Bhaga. So in the later times, this becomes a Bhaga Dugga, share in the or revenue. And all the, when they are taking all these areas, he was assisted by, so to which direction they must go for the grazing. So who will be giving these ideas? It is given mostly by priest. And in order to protect, it is not only one person can protect all the cows. So he needs the assistance of other members. So who are those other members? It is Senani, and it is a major area, is a like cluster of villages. So all the villages have a Gramani. So this Gramani will be looking at the other things. And one more important thing is the Vedic culture, how we have organized ourselves. Organizing ourselves is very important thing. So here, every household is having, who is the head of the family? Yes, of course, father. But who is first among the couple? So first among the couple is called father or husband. First among couple, that is husband. They used to call as a Damapati. Damapati is headed by so in a family, head of family. Who is the head of family? That is obviously father. So they are called as a Gahapati. And the head of family, if it is a joint family, of course those days it was completely joint families, then is Kulapati. So in a village there are multiple families. So village headed by Brahmani, and a group of villages are together called as a Jana or a kingdom. So this Jana kingdom headed by Rajan. So this classification started to develop in the early Vedic times, but completely matured by the time of later Vedics. This is what you need to understand, and this is one of the significant area. So how Rajan is assisted by Gramani for the grazing of animals. And there used to be present 4 civic bodies. So what are those 4 civic bodies? Now only we have discussed Sabha. Sabha is nothing but it is compared to our Rajya Sabha. It is having the all the elders present in the Rajya Sabha, and they used to control the Rajan, and they used to have a special power called Narishta. Narishta means if elders are saying you must not go to that direction, then Rajan must not do it. So this power is nowadays considered equivalent to veto power. And the next one we have this Sabha is can be compared to the Rajya Sabha. And other bodies like Samiti. So this is already we have discussed. Samiti is for the election of a Rajan. So this is like present day Lok Sabha. It can be compared to present day Lok Sabha. And there are other cultural bodies also. What are those other cultural bodies? Vidata and Gana. So these are just cultural assemblies. The earlier two are political bodies or political institutions, whereas the later two, that Vidata and Gana, are cultural assemblies. Like whenever they are having some marriage or a ritual, they used to come together and they used to perform dance or something. So this is what happened in the Vidata and Gana. So these Vidata and Ganas are cultural assemblies. So with this, now ask you a question, how the questions may come. Let us consider the following or match the following. They give 1, how many of the above mentioned is or correct? So here you can see the options like only 1, only 2, only 3, all 3, or none of the above. This is the new pattern. So how many of you the entire options are correct? So we have discussed JT, Itasa and Jailam. So first one correct. And what about Ravi and Parishan? RP? This is correct. And Bias, and we have discussed about BP. That is Vipasa. But what you can see, Chenab is for Ashikini. So this is a wrong one. So third option is wrong. Then we are only left out with the option only 2. So with this, I'll conclude the class for now. Thank you all. I hope you all understood the importance of early Vedic age. I hope you would give a reading about this. Thank you.